Warning: this clip may contain greatly offensive content. Do not watch if you have a heart condition or are under 18. I'm not kidding, you will die. Hello bros and welcome to Aspect Zero and Corruption of the Champion and Urta Special Edition Part 2. I actually already did this, but something happened with the recording, so it didn't work out as it's supposed to. But at least I'm gonna have to redo what I already did and start recording right here. As we see her giggle at the tent-up garment, playfully reaching under the caress, the sensitive bottom of your swelling balls, fresh length quickly surges out of your Satan response, popping your tip past the herm on second hang hair, pulsing stiff and slowly winking Urta on your lover's face. Your nipples grow so hard that they're almost painfully, and then they scrape against the interior leather breastplate interior. Struggling with the straps, you do your best to undo the offering armor, but just won't come free. Damn it. You twist around and grab a strap holding your gear together with the hands shaking so hard you fumble from the her more often than not. Asphyxia laughs again, you mistake, gently cupping your smooth knapsack in her hand. Your mammoth balls are large and they hang partway at the palm of either side, but she doesn't seem to mind. In fact, she begins to roll them back and forth luxuriously. Your tip flares slightly and releases a slippery deposit onto her tuna abdomen. The attention drive your attempts to destroy offing garments. From your lostly frame, your new levels. Mental rivets slowly give before finally snapping apart to free your left shoulder. Your left nipple tingles with pleasant palm relief, and you turn you to the other side instead of ripping it off, so you can be with your lover, skin to skin. It's actually skin to fur to skin because Urta has fur. As if the gentle rest of fingers across your nose and lips and coming. Hold on a second. You look at her pant, your tongue dangling freely, dripping from the saliva as you try to contain yourself. Your erection painfully hard twitches with this finally stops teasing. It's already missing a pleasant touch. Thankfully, she begins to remove your armor for you. Smoothly undoing the straps at a time, your sight experiences a release when your chest bunches free, releases you from the binding leather bondage. Asphyxia tosses the armor aside before rounding back to your skin. A quick twist of the clasp at its joints. The rest of the assembled, leaving you naked and exposed. What? Was that what you wanted? She asked. You shut her up by kissing her, mashing your tits into her chest hard, then also oscillate. Press it down painfully. Your tongue twines with asphyxia, twisting it into a double helix of lost-licking slippery oral caresses. Pleasantly, the monstrous quindong is dripping all over the middle, right up onto the bottom of her chest. She has to force you back up of her from the both hand just to be able to talk. Briefly, she whispered, I hope you didn't come all this way just to make out all night. Sorry that I'm reading so fast, but I already read it, so I don't want to put too much effort to reading it again. Seriously, it was very much to read. Seriously. Reading this much is actually taking out the total truth. He answered her with a fair lusty snarl and rolled over her on her hands and knees, lifting the sweet butt up and in the air, where you can admire it. You kneel behind her and pressing your nose into her friendly queen. You extend your tongue, letting the smooth oral muscle taste her uses and tease her encouragingly. As Vexera moves and presses back into you, crying out like a true bitch in heat, on of need of true rooting. Though it hits your CXXX like a light bulbing and obsolete to the tune of the internet lost. Oh, I missed something. And feels the one. And feels the pain for the preparation, even vein, bulging, standing in stark relief, thumping obsolete to the tune of instant lost. You moan into a lovely tasting snack, gulping down every drop of nectar that she gives up. You sniff and great lungfuls of her, your head swimming with her, and before you know it, you race on behind her, oozing flare just inches from the delected opening. Grabbing hold of a Cicero by the waist, you level your fallows and against her lips and presses forward hard. Her velvet curtains part slowly under the restless pressure and hanging veil of lubricant shedding. Your head in batters it with inside the plain depth. She fits you like a glove, a soft, silky velvet lined glove that squeezes back against you. Oh, so perfectly. You groan in delight, but she's only taken a few inches. But there are at least 15 more, throbbing bigger in excitement. Esphere groans out loud, pushing back against you, stretching herself around you to make a little bit, take a little bit more. Her lips cling to your girth, welcoming every greater length at your iron shaft into the sheltering, pleasant embrace her needy hold. When your metal ring catches her clit, she moans, shaking her ass cheeks at you. You smack the zeros at the ass and she wiggles again, this time slower and more sensual. Her CXXX feels singularly light around its wonderful sensation. You push the rest of the way into her one hard thrust. Your shed is pushed back against her, releasing extra inches of horse CXXX into her partner willing, lube dripping PXXXX. The over-sensitive horse flesh bombs you with a wave of fresh feelings to the strong legs, nearly fold under you. You dig your hands into asphyxia hanches for support and hang on for dear life, instantly plowing her snatch like the life depended on it. Moaning, she looks over her shoulder and whispers, "Do it. I can't take much more." You obligate your lover's request as you had any other option, and hammer your oozing DXXX deep into the zero puffy DXXXX so hard that the tip butts in up against the cervix, bowing it in toward the uncomfortable womb. She squeezes down like a vice, rigging your CXX with the user slippery walls. No, in towards the unprotected one. She squeezes like a... No, that was her. User slippery walls. You moan with her balls tensing, lifting slightly in your sack as the ready you see load. Climating place erupts from the within and your flare nearly doubles in size, looking itself in the honeyed heaven. It so loves the nestless itself into. Bubbling heat bubbles inside until you feel as if your body is about to light a flame. And then, in a dizzying rush, you realize the first sticky deposit into your lover's womb. She moans, wriggling happily as some slips into her womb, while the rest begins to flood every nook and cranny of her violated tongue. Again and again, you fire sticky white loads deep into Zero's body, arching lightly at the flame of horse CXX you used to hate, but have come to accept with Zero's help. She taught you that you could be loved, and as you thoughtfully see her warm teardrop of moisture beds and corner of your eye. She loves you, CXX and all. There's nothing you'd rather be doing than spending the night with her. Her belly roundens slightly with your prowling deposit. The illusion of knocking her up takes hold of you and orgasm redoubles. Fresh waves of horse CXXX pouring out of the conqueror's X0 moans, robbing her to the taunt dome until last you finally spend over lost you spunk. You lay down on her back, exhausted, and she rolls onto her side, taking you with her, snoring together, genitals still locked and dripping. The two of you dozes off together, whispering sweet nothing into the still night air. Seriously, it's much. Sadly, morning comes and your time with asphyxiators comes to an end. You pushes her shoulder gently to rouse her, smiling you when she wakes. You kiss her on the lips and rolling her onto her blanket. The two of you eat a quiet breakfast together, simply enjoying each other's company. She asks again about coming with you, but you tell her that goals instructions were quite specific. You need to take this alone. The rest of the breakfast passes on in uncomfortable silence, broken when you risen to leave. Risen to leave. You embrace X-Zero, kissing her on the lips before you promise I come back to you, stronger and ready for kids, I promise. X-Zero nods and you leave her behind. You keep glancing over your shoulder as you leave, praying silently to any god who listens that you return safely to your lover. Alright, we're gonna fight the Goblin Broodmother. Attack. I can shoot to fuck her or leave. I leave. Alright, this is a fight again. I accidentally stepped on a male Naga's tail, and he got really angry at first, then forgave me when he thought I was a woman. Obviously didn't see the horse asset I had. Gonna just keep trying to hit him. There, defeated, leave. You decided just not worth the time, continue your journey. Alright, now we're fighting a null, alpha null actually. So just hit again. Alright, I can give this comes me, fuck it, or just leave. I leave. Alright, and I can either choose to sleep naked or sleep when I wear armor. It's safer to wear armor when I sleep, even if it's uncomfortable, and I was right because I got attacked by tentacles in the middle of the night. But they didn't put up a fight because they wasn't worth it. So now it continues, and now it searches through that, and until right, we are at the temple now, and we just entered. Once you clear the safe path to the doors, you wipe the sweat from your brow and advance until the sacred word tells you your ears bring you to a shore. Stop, whispers the ghastly, lost, inflated voice of what can only be a succumbus. Didn't anyone tell you that this place is a home of demons? This is kind of as far I got. You turn around to see the succumbus walking out from around the side of the building. Slick hair with tentacle user, she daintily dabs a plant seed from the corner of her mouth with a pinky while hulking mass of muscle. Muscle horn, and aggressive follows only behind her. Follows behind her, secured by a chain attached to the collar around its neck. It looks like a minotaur, but much, much bigger. This isn't good. When we don't abide trespasses, do we, Petchy Cat? The dancer snort answers, nope. The succumbus reaches under the sperm / logic of the minotaur wears and collects a handful of old spunk. Ensuring the light consumes, do me a favor and subdue this one. Would you? If you do, I allow you to come once in each of her holes, and maybe even her back door. Would you like that, Fido? The mistress groans obviously pent up, perhaps even enjoying the light talk down to. Yes, mistress. Sicken boy, she's sweetest, dropping the shade. The Minotaur Lord shudders toward you, picking up the loose chain to use as a weapon. It's a fight. Alright. One thing I know about fights like this is that everything has to do with succumbers. You can't defeat them by trying to beat them up. Seriously, I tried. So you have to tease them until they fight. Tease again. He got the chain around me, so I need to struggle out of it. Tease him again. Tease. Tease. And tease again. And he's defeated. Alright. I defeated the Minotaur Lord. Now it's only succumbers here. The combat claps slowly as she gets up on her perch on her rounded column. I'm impressed, she says, stepping in the light as she walks towards you. She gasps, this succumbus looks like a cow. She is tall, standing at above 7 feet high, and her hungrily voluptuous form makes you blush. She has breasts 3 times the size of her head. Head tipped with cluster of the teeth-like nipples, each like one leaking milk down her huge mounds. Her hips flare out in exchange hourglass shape, and the long tail tipped with a fleshy spade waves across this pancake above. A small cowbell is tied to the base of the spade with a cute little ribbon. Wide cow-like horns, easily approached for a minotaur, rise from her head, and she flicks her cow-like ears to either side, while sashing from side to side and on the demonic high-heeled feet. Her skin is vibrant purple with splashes shiny black here and there, including one large spot covering her right eye. In her hands you spot a leather whip, and you idly wonder if this is what she's been using to dominicate brute of a minotaur she calls a pet. What's the problem there? Am I that alone that you can't help but ogle? She makes a pose, blowing you a lecherous kiss. Hardly, you retort. I just didn't realize the manication worked as a dairy cows. Dairy cows, this is actually funny if you know what dairy cows is. The succumbus scrawls from the instant, but quickly collects herself and says, My, if you aren't a capable fighter, I never thought feeding my pet could be beaten. Impressive, she says, sashing her circle, looking you over. Quite an eyeful, too. Tell me, Foxy, would you be interested in becoming my pet as well? You would be above the sorry excuse of a brute and get all the CXX and milky you could ever want. She smiles seductively at you. Not a chance, you retort. Now move aside. Well, see how your tune changed it when you're licking my heels and begging for a drop of my milk, she snaps her whip angrily. And succumbers, I'm 100% sure you can't beat them by beating them up. We should not use magic, but Urta doesn't have any magic, see? No magic. Just keep trying to seduce her. Alright, chance I might leave, so I'm gonna use second wind. It actually gives back a health and lowers my lust. Tease her again. Tease her again. I'm on! The succumbus drops her whip and begins masturbating furiously, jiggling the dripping cunt with abandon. You quickly run towards her, planting your foot on her back and sending her tumbling to her face when you used her whip to bind her hands behind her back. Oh, come on. I wasn't even going to attack you. I just wanted to, unless, does this means you will be wanting to have some fun? She asked with a seductive smile. Maybe I do, though whether I want fun with you is another matter. You reply, doing best to be cryptic. Sure, the loss is high. It would be best to fuck her, but I won't. Urta isn't like that. She doesn't fuck a demon just because she is wanted. You take a deep breath and leave, taking out both the common cows and her pet minotaur, which proves to be a mistake, since the air is saturated with difference from the cow milk and minotaur cum. You can't help but groan as you feel your loins burn with desire. Demon or not, the woman kneeling before you is extraordinarily attractive. Those huge full breasts, you've never seen a woman that busted before, and the glorious squeezable ass. If she's kept the minotaur as a fuck toy, then surely she has to be loose enough to take even your king-sized CXX. That waterfall of looking and drawing out of your account seems to whisper to you, begging you to fill her full of your CXX. Very risky, but surely one folk can't hurt. You do want to be faithful to Exeter, you do, but she's not here, is she? Still, you're sure you can be strong. You can be strong and leave it. You do have the willpower. Oh, but the temptation. No, leave. Your fingers tighten on the shaft of it, and suddenly you bring a it whipping around, the blunt end slamming into the side of the cobbler's head. Her eyes roll up into her head, and she collapses unconscious onto her. Oh, spit to the side. Spit to the side. Be glad I didn't use the sharp end, monster. With that, you continue on to the depths of the shrine. Oh, if only Cecile was here. You happily fuck her senseless right now. Still, it's something to look forward once you're done inside. Right, go inside. You advance cautiously into the shrine interior, ware of ambush but other demonic residents. The interior of the shrine proves that there was a battle here, easily before you were born. Corpses reduced to yellowing bones by the passage of the time and scattered everywhere. Discarded and broken weapon and managerial armor showing how the fight must have been whole this sacred place. Most of the corpses are quite clearly those of your people, with vulpin skulls, beast leg bones, and the spiny battery bones showing them what muscles have been beautiful fluffy tails in life. Other skeletons, however, are surprisingly human-like, though their invariable bare bones and at least one, sometimes more tails. You finally figure out that they must have been kitsunes in life. You spare a moment to complete the ulterior your race related, but dismiss it. You're not here for science. You're here for contact with the god ghost haunting your body. You continue to explore the shrine, but there's a little worth talking about to be found. Skeletons have fallen defenders, and there's presently small numbers of demonic essence, rags, rubble, ruins, and dust greet you. Finally, however, you find yourself in what to have been main chapel of the shrine. A huge statue dominates the room. If this is life size, then the god you seek is communicate with was big enough that he could have supported you on the palm of his open hand. The figure of quite disorderly looking, fundamentally a foxmore with open head, ears and tail, but the body of unnaturally lean, hemicated fog skin stretches tight over the unusual small compact bone, makes the head look oversized and other promises thin limbs easily wear as long as they should be. This is long. A huge statue dominates the room. If this is life-size, then you wonder how is supported to actually get in contact with Tauf. You could recall the magic the comment actually said. Yes, telling you anything about that. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. You walk up until you are standing before the statue and set yourself by a kneeling palms pressed up against your bum. Tail swishing quietly across the dusty floor, balls and parsley flopping out before you. You can close your eyes and try to concentrate, including bestaining your duty. Stir the deity stir answers you. You. A shiver ripples up your spine, hackles instantly growing erectness in a void. A whisper directly into your mind. I wake. This is really long. I need a second life to finish this. Your eyes spring open and you stare in dumbfounded shock at the statue. It starts to move. Joints flex with the awful sound of stone grating on stone. Carved eyelids open and reveal flames of mirrored colors, ever shifting before your eyes. Welcome, vessel. It is the time. It is time that we spoke. You really are tough, you reply, wary of being tricked. I am. 2 decades ago, our enemies managed to pierce the veils of my mirrored tricks and trap me here in this shrine. Confronted and with no way out, their demons thought they could end me. As they have some of my brothers and sisters, the spirit note, now that you're gotten over the shock of actually talking to you, it's more discouraging that we away inspiring the surprising animate features of the statue common silence and frankly less serious nature, while the unnaturally voice seems barely content by the statue and finds itself in. Naturally, I could not allow myself to be destroyed. I sent my beautiful servant to stem the tide. It seems genuinely penitent about this, though from the way it describes its followers, I view them more as objects than people. They bought me the time to sever my life force from my moral vessel. As my honor guard fell, I fled, flinging my essence out in search of a fresh form, even as my body petrified behind me. You choose my form, you declare, fighting avoid snarling at it. Why? You demand, passionately unable to resist leaning why it's chosen you. The statue shrugged so you had the fortune to be conceived at the moment of my defeat, or nearer to it. The new body of an infant freshly joined with soul is surprisingly welcoming to an external spirit. Weakened as I was, I did not have time to be picky. It was die or try to pull off one last trick. Rage borders through you, thundering inside your mind like a beating of war drum. Red is stiffing your vision and utter interference. This being a displaying her ruined your life. before you were even born. How dare he not feel even the slightest bit guilty for doing so? It is true that I caused you much grief through my presence, but do remember that it was but that if it wasn't for me and the hardship I caused you would not have been molded into the strong woman you are. Captain of the City Watch, beloved of SFX0, disaster folded its arms, eyes blazing in a way, sweating irritation, and feel a pang of instinctive fear at the unspoken threat. If you try another anything to hurt her, I swear I'll make sure you go whatever awaits that ghost. You hiss at him, clenching your fist so tightly you feel your nails bite into your palms. One of your ears twitches when your better senses remind you that this yes, it is still inside you, and to lack even the slightest amount of magic, and you lack this even slightest amount of magical power. The statue laughs. Brave, I like that, but you are foolish to threaten a being beyond your comprehension. Ones like you are always the most fun. It shakes his head and madly titters. Let me get back to the matter at hand. I know why you are here, and I agree with it. So let us not spend time idly threatening one another. You want to comparate. Your questioned eyes narrows in suspicion. Of course, the statue replies, looking offended. I can hardly get into that kind of mischief I like to as a peasant in Watchwoman. Oh, I owe Letitia a few tricks, and having to contrabate a body doesn't exactly make it easy to get revenge. Well, this is turning to a suspicion. So, I want your gun. I want to get gone. How do we make it happen? You bluntly retort. Well, it's not quite that simple. Hamley explains. I can't just walk out of and wander around, not without a corporeal form. As amusing as it would be to haunt the little people of this world, to do so by diminishing myself, but to do so it would be diminishing myself. No, I want to create. I want. No, you must create me a new body, one which I can shape into the perfect vessel. He commands. You blink in confusion, which causes him to suddenly accept. You must mate, breed. There must be a coupling. I shall be the result. It will be the result we both crave. I shall have the fresh form which, with which to visage chaos on the foes, and you shall have a fertile womb to rival goblins and CoC so fertile that the miniatures will be jealous. Perhaps I may even gift you with a boon for your efforts. But whatever the case, a child must be conceived. You do give the matter some thought, but really, what choice do you have? The Covenant wants this god to assist them, and you dream of the ability of and and you dreamed of the ability to have kids ever since you fell in love with SFX Hero. You slowly nod your head and voice your agreement to the god turn. The statue smirks tranquilly at you, and then its eyes suddenly explode in great waves of many-colored fire that washes over you, forcing you to close your eyes, leaving you reeling as the stabs through you. Then you awake with a start, still kneeling before the unmoving statue. What is all that? A dream? You don't know. Your head is throbbing like mad and you can think clearly. But even as the pain dims, you become aware of another more pressing matter: lust. The familiar yearning burns inside you, arm's length prick like a rapping inferno. The tower of an equine lock me, thrusting boldly before you, and you steadily pushing Precom onto the ground. Naked, hungry, need screams on the claws of gibbons behind their eyes. Effect zero. You must have effect zero. Accidentally licking drool from your lips, you stagger upright, using your halberd for support. Start looping home from the shrine. In the In your wake, you leave a slug-like trail of sexual lubricant. To focus on the finding hawking your lover, to care about the glistening slime cracking dick and splashing in your inner tights. This much. It's still not ended. As you're getting ready to set out. Oh, wait. I'm me again. As you're getting ready to set out for another day in Maref, you find yourself surprised with the unusual encounter and very boundaries of your camp. It's Urta. She's come back and lost at last, and boy, she's a mess. Her eyes roll wildly in her head until she sees you and fixes you like a starving fox on the fat on a fat hen. Her CXXX thrust wide before her pre-CXX, bubbling over the tip and splattering wetly into the dust before her. Feminine rolling out her gas like water and plastering her legs with shiny wet. The fox breaks into a run until she skids in the halt in front of you, panting with lust and excess. Hi, SFX0, she mans out, looking at the state of her. You make a wild guess. You say as she spoke to her guest, yeah, Tauf promised to get out of me, but first, you need to give him a new host. Well, I need to give him a new body Urta still has, control enough to look skeptical. Despite the fact her body is blood screaming for release, I rather do it with you, but if you rather not, I can always go to use Adrian. What do we do as Victoria? She pants on me. We need to choose fast. I can't hold back much longer. Well, this is quite the surprise. You have no idea who Tout is, but you can only guess that it's some kind of spirit or something or demon or something. She seems to have been put into some kind of wild root and heat, determined to produce a baby with to release this thing from her inside of her. Do you fuck her the horny fox to help her set out of this predicament, or send to tell Honor to find suitable partners like Adrian? Alright, I can either knock Urta, let Urta knock up me, or send her to knock up Adrian. Actually, I think most people would choose this, but actually I'm gonna let him knock up me, because who knows, he might run into something on the way back to tell Andre. And she had been true enough with Tauf to actually bear him for a while longer. So knock me? Oh come on, this is too much. Smiling coldly, you remove your black leather armor surrounded by voluminous robes and crawl into your bed, begging for the lost crazy fox to follow. You trust her, and you're more than willing to let her put a nice little bun in your oven. Her green eyes pulse obstinately sight of naked flesh, looking tight to every cover you shake. The vixen takes one stiffening step after another. It's clear that the crazed panting and trembling fingertips that she's trying to keep herself from jumping you with limited success. Still like an addict eyeing the corner stuffed with her favorite drug, knowing that she must take it slow but helplessly against the desire glowing gorge. You toss a little fuel on fire, spreading your legs, exposing the puffing lips, and spreading them wide to expose your pink, glistening interior. Urta whines, high-pitched and keening on the doubles over, pumping her hook with both hands. Honestly, motivated at the slight of your exposed, vulgar womanhood. She grunts, swinging her hips slowly back and forth, actually fucking her hands now. Mouth open and panting, gonna fuck you full of babies. That's something new. Oh. Oh. Seriously, this is much to read. The rotten prick vixen thrusts so hard that the moment carries her closer, and in almost drunken haste, she tumbles head over heels. With a squeal, she lands nose deep in your VXXXX, immediately licking at it and tickling you with a smooth, slippery tongue. She purrs as suckling your rich clit, inching upwards, dripping wet fox higher, higher and higher, her tongue smearing across the tight skin and covers your belly. Urta rigid onyx ripples tickle your legs as they drag upwards, each immediately erect, encouraged. Just a little pebbly texture. She reaches your large breast, kissing up soft curves until she hits your nipple. Her tongue splashes across the surface, and the heat of her breath shooting tingles up your spine. The further she climbs, the further up your legs. You can feel the stallion CXXX rising, a trail of clear pre-CXX in its wake. Seriously, I'm nearly passing out here from so much reading. She picks up and you frown below as she climbs, nodding. I'm gonna fuck you so hard you can't going to turn into a mood of my dick. Useless for anyone but me, she pulled. How is that even? That's not even possible, I think. Her pupils are dilated crazily, and you have to wonder if she's even realizes what she's saying at this point. You put your hands on her cheeks and pulling her up so you can feel her blonde tip pressing lightly upon your mouth. You gently kiss her Urta passions, her favorite. You can feel the heat through her ebony lips and pressing up against your own. She sags into you, the strength from the interior has long enough enjoyed tender moment with you. You grab her butt and squeezes. After a moment she may be distracted, but her tongue and heat have spawned similar level of heat within you. Actually, if I not have time to finish reading this, I gonna just jump past the last bit, but I gonna continue reading for now. Urta blinks and the craziness returns to snap, and without any warning she grabs your shoulder, leaving every ounce of her strength into a bullet, pinching you. They're on and singly squeezing wet sound as fat flare ramps down your canal, scraping every sensitive bundle of nerves along your way. It batters you widely, stretching you deliciously. Her hands roam over the rest of your body with unrestrained ardor. Groping and squeezing, pulling, tweaking. Meanwhile, it's her hips smacking against your own. Smushing her chat up against your puffy lips, her steamy sex dripping girl lube down back of the balls into a thick bundle of your blanket. Slap, the sweat nozzle slaps loud enough the hair enough to be heard over as Urta proudly fucks you. Humming you attentionally, her hips beating out confuse the staken rhythm. You hold on to her waist for support, teeth cracking against each other with the bony yaring concealing crowd. Urta gone absolutely wide, her compassion ever dripping, pouring out in your abused cock gate slit, unlit by the the horsey XXX that enters the exist fast and might ever be a blur. Helpless under the consuming you moan your own forgetting limb, laying on the stomach, munching fearfully until ultimately ignored. You feel the better than it really out. To perhaps you part thanks to the partner coefficient fluids and supposedly warm previously. Tight cunt. No. Gotta fill it up. She cries, arching her back tits, yiggling over the top of her climber. Her shoulder, she's sudden thought explodes over and back of the balls, splattering wetness in the 5 foot cones behind her. At the same time, that slick sack begins to twitch against again and again. It feels like the vibrant against the sonic ass. Ashley shuddering as liquid, white shifting and moves, pumping through the cockbuff interior. She's her chest peels back a little further and she gains the equine length inside you. Distorts slightly, the fat shaft stretching your lips even wider as the huge wad of cum travels through the tugging horsecock. There's an audible gurgle from inside you, and you feel the sticky, slippery spot spreading through every hook and cranny of your very loose neck. Some even dripping into your warm Urta house, yipping into the air as she crams herself further inside your body, fat, flaming cock head right up against your cervix. The next cum wave hits you with such a pressure that most of the floods directly into your uterus, shouting straight through the slightly dilated cervix without too much resistance. You can feel it sloshing around, the heavy weight of Fox liquid love filling you fuller and fuller, while the fruity wasted sperm drips out on your widespread focal. Again and again, her orgasm inseminates your womb seemingly without limit, rounding your belly with the slightest bump, and she presses builds more and more of her baby body slows out you and enters onto her balls, slathering them with slick spunk. A couple of more minutes I give. If my Actually I have alarm on my phone. If the alarm sounds, then I skip the rest. Smiling, Urta continues to slowly hump you inside her. Her cock has begun to soften, allowing much of her bounty to slide out. But her motions don't slow. She kisses you all over your lips, your tits, your shoulders, even the nape of your neck. You're grown more turned on than ever, tilting your head back and allowing her to play with your sensitive flesh with kisses inside you. The spent equine dong has begun to stiffen, and you unsoaked balls shooting with every slap against the muscular hand, feeling backsided, makes ready round two. Actually, I'm getting a little hard time to read. Pulling out Urta swats your muscular hand, feeling but lingering just long enough to give it a feminine scream. She commands, "Ass up in the air! I'm gonna take you like an animal." Holding it one-handed, the furry hermaphrodite slaps her acorn paws against you, echoing your roll over your horny ass, hell you wet cunt hanging over the shape of the directly departed animal dong, and you willingly assume the position, muscular hand fully at bottom up there, face buried in your blanket soaked with Urta's musky fluid. From behind, the hot, familiar head of your lover member pierces your womanly view. It's it slides through your slick soaked passage with ease, butting right up against your cervix in the bottom out again. Urta needs the light skin of your shaped eyes, happily beginning to hump you all over again. Your wet squishes are much louder, wetter, and noisier than ever before, whereas the fox girl pounds you brutally wet fuck, and then sends leftovers from and gross lube spreading everywhere. Your blankets, if they weren't already, are now ruined, soaked in the inch-deep puddle of sex. When the master shaft bottoms out again, it scrapes across the G spot. It's just the right way, and fireworks going off. Stand somewhere off in your very loose count, push you so far past the point orgasm that your muscle size. Latest point drips from splashing twat and steady trickle glassing Urta's spongy balsack, which eats liquid lost. Latest point drips from this twat and ordered trickle Urta's balsack with your liquid lost. The hungry mouth between her legs but wastes no time in clenching them. Again and again, muscular contracts wheel through the canal, ringing bringing Urta's swollen staff impregnation, making it for more. Even though your womb is still slightly distended from the slat deposit, you're gonna be so pregnant this year, she cries, smacking her head across the backside hard enough to feel you ripple through the middle. You're gonna be the mother of a god, and then I knock you off with my kids. Well, we have so many babies. As fact zero, her hand carries you around saw the pussy again and again. You're so hot, lover. Your tight little box already knows my dick, doesn't it? It's gonna. Oh, I'm gonna come again. Slamming herself into hard enough hard enough to drag your face across the ground. She utterly assaults your backside. Woman gone wild, drunk of sex, lost and pussy, her dick thickens with lust and comes again. Throwing down. I can't read anymore. I'm sorry. It's been too much. At least in the end of this, she says, "Sweet dreams," breathy voice whispers in your ear, and before you begin, kiss you again. And I've heard that this next thing is when I give birth to the god, and so. And that's. It's too much. Well, at least now we're giving birth to a god. Stop recording already. At least now we're giving birth to a god, so now Urta will be fertile, so we gonna be able to make kids with Urta now. And you can understand why I had to read that. It's very big, at least 3 hours in full. I think it was time to read all that, but at least hit like and subscribe, and I see you next time. BroFive.